Bethesda just released a few trailers on Starfield. They even confirmed the release date for Starfield as of November 11th next year, said it's a Microsoft exclusive. For the game itself, in case you're unfamiliar with it, is a sci-fi open world, possibly the company's biggest RPG to date. Let's just take a quick look.
Now. Part of our family. What you found, it's the key to unlocking everything.
We reach your constellation.
This is all we've been working towards.
Jemison route looks good.
We've come to the beginning of humanity's final journey.
Prepare for departure. Graviton loop array full. Check. Your space lane is clear.
That's why we're here.
Main engines go. Ignition.
To discover what's out there.
Good luck, Constellation. You are go for launch.
Probably one of the most anticipated games of 2021. Forza Horizon 5, the latest open-world racing game in its series, is due to hit the Xbox consoles and PCs November 5th this year, and it's even going to be available through Xbox Game Pass on day one. I've been led to believe there's a ton of cars to go with this time, like more than 500 at the beginning of the game, and particularly that, the developers just came out with a brand new trailer. Let's check it out. Halo Infinite is scheduled for a release December 8th with a free-to-play standalone multiplayer game at the same time. There is an open beta holding today until October something, with a few more on the way until the game is released, and right now there's a bunch of editions to go with of up to almost $600. Just check it out. Here's even a new one.
One shot, so many dead enemies. Government. Taking fire.
Warhammer 40k Darktide is coming to PCs and Xbox Series X. However, the team itself just pushed the game to sometime next year, possibly early for pandemic reasons. Basically, if you've ever played Vermintide games, this might be your thing. If not, just know, as you can see, there's a lot of slicing and shooting, high-octane action, and plenty of lore to explore in its universe. Check it out.
Purge the unclean. Master of mankind, grant us strength.
That's your cue, mate. Sleep tight. You know what this reminds me of? My time in the Himalayas.
Redfall is expected to arrive in summer next year and will be available on Xbox consoles and PCs. This project has a gameplay style based actually on the company's recently released screenshots, very similar to games like Borderlands. It's an open world game basically, and there's some battle royale elements to it as well. Check it out.
How do we always get into this shit?
In the field in Redfall, Massachusetts. Behind me, we are witnessing clear signs of cult activity as the locals engage in... Hey! Bollocks!
I really hope the video was worth it.
Everybody, fall back! People need to know what happened. Layla, with me. Get me on the roof now.
Thank you, Layla. You're the best. Oh, thank you.
SENUA'S Saga Hellblade 2 doesn't have a specific release date or a release window even, but it is actually coming out next year. It's either that or even later this year. Nobody knows. What I do know is that this sequel is based on real-world locations and just like the original game set during 9th century Iceland. Check it out, make sure to stay tuned for an update on Hellblade 2 in the coming months.
And dreams through the valleys of despair, over the mountains of rage, to the depth of fear in my mind. You might see me as weak, but I will show you what lies behind my eyes. With our swords, we will forge new stories to strike the gods that haunt us. We will embrace our suffering, soothe our scars of grief, and break their siege of our minds.
Now this is a little weird, specifically since we haven't heard anything regarding this game, but it looks like Scorn is still coming out this year. Scorn, for those of you unfamiliar, was an atmospheric horror kind of first-person adventure game in a world filled with just organic matter stuff. This one's a Microsoft exclusive as well, and it's set to be coming out to PCs and Xbox consoles around holidays this year.
The world is filled with stories of legendary heroes.
Fable is in development for PCs and Xbox consoles as well. The team itself is suggesting that it still has a long way to go, but will release before The Elder Scrolls 6 is even close. Now, this will be the fourth main game in its franchise and possibly an open world game in addition to the already known RPG, but we'll see.
Not all stories have happy endings. But yours has yet to be written. Sounding voice. And we see a quiet, peaceful setting.
The Outer Worlds 2 is currently in development, just like Fable, hopefully coming out next year. Like, there's no way we're getting a release window for this game this year. And as in the case of gameplay, it's just way too soon, guys. So basically, if you do have a taste for Fallout games or anything like Mass Effect, which is a mix of both of them, you probably want to keep an eye out for this one or take a quick look at the first game.
Make everything seem cool and should bolster pre-sale numbers. That wah sound can mean only one thing. We must gaze over an epic shot of a world, and there should be lens flares. Now we see our hero, but only their silhouette, because the developers haven't finished the design, or finished the story, or finished any gameplay that's actually ready to show. In fact, the only thing they have finished is the title.
If you're unfamiliar with CrossfireX, this is, as you can see, a first-person shooter, quite a bit in the same vein as Call of Duty, Battlefield, or other FPS games, but also the third installment in the Crossfire series of games. There is a little bit of a chance that this game might land on the PlayStation consoles as well, but in any case, it's all happening sometime later this year. Make sure to stay tuned for a release date.
Let's go.
Echo Generation, on the other hand, is a turn-based adventure game with actually one hell of a pixel art style. I mean, I love it personally. Now this one, while we don't have a firm release date for it though, should release sometime before the end of 2021, they said. And it's coming to Xbox consoles and PCs. This should give you a good idea of what this whole Echo Generation is all about. Just have a look. Like I mentioned earlier, Forza Horizon 5 launches November 9th this year. However, when Forza Motorsport will be released is kind of a mystery right now. Developers mentioned that the team will have more stuff to share in the coming months, like a gameplay teaser or something, and if it's any relief at this point, this game is actually rumored to be launching in 2022 sometime, so just keep it in mind for now. Well, as in the case of State of Decay, well, the new game is a Microsoft exclusive. Basically, it's hitting both platforms and PCs, just like any other games on this list. We're still waiting to hear more about this game, specifically a release window, just for the sake of a gameplay trailer eventually, but all I'm hearing is the same nowadays. Just make sure to stay tuned, guys, for any updates coming our way for State of Decay in the coming months. ExoMecha was just delayed a couple months back and will be coming to its aforementioned consoles and PCs in early next year. This is actually the only free-to-play game in this list today that might even fall under the category of a AAA game. It is a shooter at its heart with a lot of giant mechs and a whole lot of next-generation graphics to have your time with here.
To Shred-a-geddon, here's a new trick. Let's go!
Snowboarding fan, anyone? Shredders is due for release on Xbox Series X and S December this year, and it'll be available on Xbox Game Pass on day one as well. This is, if I'm not wrong, more like a sim game. If not, it basically gives you all the possibilities one can give in a sport game, with a bunch of modes to fool around and actually an open world to go with, too. Check it out. Last but not least, if you're a fan of Left 4 Dead games, well, not to mention the coming Back 4 Blood and Deathloop also, there is a new game in town going by the Anacrusis or something, a retro-styled kind of shooter set on an abandoned space station. Right now this game doesn't have a release date, but the game should arrive sometime soon, they said. Check it out.
I could use some help!
Hit your pulse!
This is not good. This is not good.
What if we open the doors and run? Just run. No stopping, no shooting, just straight to the bridge.
Get that flasher!
Heavy.
Really? We call them tanks.
I call them brutes. From Latin, Brutus.
We'd sound smart calling them brutes.
Eon, you don't want to get in here and help name these?
Nah, I'm good.
Brute!